championship by Houston. Louisiana Tech, Memphis State, Wake Forest, the overtime win Saturday over Virginia. And on the other hand, Georgetown, the scare against SMU. Impressive wins over Nevada, Las Vegas, Dayton, and of course the win against Kentucky. They may have to re-jump it. Nope, they will not. Michael Young will come down to the ball.
Toss was thrown at a bad angle, Gary. When you've got two 7-footers, it makes it a little difficult for the officials to throw it up, but that was not a good toss.
Reed Geddes, who did not shoot well in the first game, he had 3 of 7, says, I must be ready to shoot outside. He's feeling much better. He's been under the weather due to an inflamed gum and tooth. Here he is from the corner, and that's a good start for him.
Excellent start. Georgetown playing a little soft in their man-to-man defense. It was very easy for Young to go inside, and there's Houston in the 2-3 zone right off the bat.
Wingate, who had 11 points in that win over Kentucky. Fred Brown, he comes in and sets the tempo for this team.
Nice pass by Patrick Ewing to the weak side. Jackson's the fellow they'd like to get that first shot if you're going to get a perimeter shot.
And he'll attempt one, and it's all tied up.
And here comes the press. A little bit soft at first. Georgetown has a tendency to want to go ahead and press you a little soft in the beginning and then clamp it on you later, much like UCLA used to do.
Wingate had the ball, but he had stepped out of bounds when he swiped it, so Houston has possession.
Nice pass by Winslow.
Michael Young. And Young, who's starting to shoot much better. He had 50% in that game against Virginia.
Gary, I think this is what Houston has to do early, is just to put the ball up and not be tentative at all.
Patrick Ewing, a high arch on the ball. Hakeem jumps twice prematurely, and we're going to have a foul on Fred Brown of Georgetown.
See, Hakeem really stay patient in there. That ball was hitting the rim, and normally a big man has a tendency to go up and misjudge the tap, but he stayed right with it.
Hakeem has been so much more intelligent about staying out of foul trouble, knowing when to jump. And there is Dalton. I believe he reached across, so they'll inbounds again. He reached across. You cannot interfere with the ball until it is inbounds, and Geddes will reset it again.
Dalton really provides some problems thrown over, and they're taking it right to Patrick Ewing.
Hakeem wanted to go in, elected not to. Alvin Franklin out to Geddes. Michael Young will attempt again. Ewing was in his face, but made no difference.
Michael Young is 6'7", so when Patrick comes out, it's not like he's a little guard out there. He can shoot over him.
Boy, that has to be encouraging to Guy Lewis to see Young hit his first 2 shots. 6-2, the Cougars with the lead.
Zone backed in pretty far. They're inside the foul line.
Steal by Young, the senior. The Southwest Conference's leading scorer gets it off to Geddes, and what a start here by Houston.
Excellent job by Georgetown, though, going from offense to defense. They had 3 men back waiting on him.
Guy Lewis hopes a 3rd time as a charm. Championship, and Young is sizzling.
He is a streak shooter, Gary. He's had some problems early in the year, later in the playoffs here, but he is a streak shooter, and when he starts bailing it out, nobody in the country can shoot better from the wings.
8-2, Houston with the advantage. Brown, who does not like to shoot from outside. Dalton, a complete role player. He has size and bulk inside.
You can see Houston's not even playing Brown when he has the ball in his possession.
There's a nice reach in defensively by Young, and then Franklin trying to come over and help, commits a personal foul. And here comes Michael Graham into the ball game. Number 50. Dalton will check out, and Graham had 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocked shots in that win over Kentucky.
Balanced up very nicely with Patrick Ewing. And what was interesting, Bill Martin, who's been playing so well in the playoffs, hardly got any action at all on Saturday. Good fake.
He took Hakeem up. Graham tries to follow, and the leading rebounder in the nation has one.
Great rebound by Hakeem. He really had Winslow breaking long, but he saved the ball. Didn't want to go on that fast break opportunity.
Here's Geddes. He hit his first shot from there. Houston is playing remarkably well.
It's not exactly playground, but they are putting the ball up quickly, and that's an excellent sign if you're Guy Lewis. No hesitancy at all.
Houston is 5 of 5 from the field. Michael Jackson penetrating. Michael Graham scores. Jackson who had 3 assists Saturday, and that's a big assist to get him started. 10-4. And Winslow was in trouble, got it to Hakeem.
I really credit Guy Lewis for having a game plan to go right at Georgetown. There's nothing passive at all about his offensive game plan, and that's what he needs.
Jackson from outside. That cuts it to 6 at the 15:56 mark. Jackson with 4 points. He'll inbounds again.
One of the things also helps Houston is Reed Geddes is a 6'7" guard, can throw over presses, and it's very helpful because then you don't have to go ahead and dribble through all the time.
Alvin Franklin. Franklin in that first game had 6 points. Did not shoot well. He was 2 of 7. He and Geddes must have the outside shooting, and they have had it, Billy.
They are burning it. And so far, Georgetown is really not aggressively getting in the face of the good shooters. Franklin and Young particularly.
7 of 7 now for Houston.
You can see that Brown, being no offensive threat whatsoever, allows Houston to play 5 men on 4.
And it goes to Pat Ewing to Wingate. And Young was pushed out of there by Brown, and Brown will get the follow shot. Guy Lewis is up. He wanted the foul.
He deserved the foul there because without question, Young got pushed right off the court.
Franklin doing a good job of breaking the pressure. Brown reached in, though. Batted it away. Here comes Jackson.
Beautiful pass.
That'll be goaltending on Winslow.
Great pass by Jackson. He looked one way and fed it on the bounce. Just absolutely perfect. Good hands by Wingate.
And this game off to a very exciting start with 14:45 left in the first half. Houston with a 14-8 lead.
Well, here you're going to see things get started a little early. Reed Geddes pushing back. Graham gives none and asks for none, and neither did Reed Geddes on that one.
That's to be expected in this game. Franklin drives between them, and a foul will go on Michael Graham.
Hey, Gary, that's what Alvin Franklin can do that not many guards can do in the country. He is so powerfully built like a fullback. He went right through a double team. Normally, when Georgetown has you hung up in a double team, you just can't force your way through.
Well, Franklin was an outstanding football player in high school, so the man that lost 10 pounds still has the bulk and strength, as you mentioned. Houston 7 of 7 from the field. Georgetown 5 of 9, a 4-point lead for the Cougars.
Man-to-man defense now by Georgetown.
Hakeem had it batted away. Winslow will challenge Ewing, but he walked to the ball.
They give Patrick Ewing a credit for a blocked shot, although it won't show up that way statistically. Winslow knew he was there.
Second turnover now against Houston.
That's the first time Georgetown looked a little bit more aggressive in it man-to-man.
Reggie Williams, number 24, a freshman, is checked in for John Thompson's team. Ewing, 3 men around him, and we're going to have a foul. It's going to go on Reed Geddes reaching in.
I believe they're going to call it on Hakeem, Gary.
Are they? Okay, yep. Hakeem with his first.
Now, you'll see the shot coming up right here. Nice catch by Ewing. Winslow got away with one reaching in, and there was Hakeem, got a little bit of the elbow on the play. Touch foul.
Now this year, Hakeem has fouled out of ball games on 8 occasions. 4 times he's had 4 fouls, but that was earlier in the year, Billy. He's been able now to do a much better job staying out of foul difficulty.
Well, you notice he had his hands straight up, so it was a good move by Hakeem defensively. He just got caught with a touch.
Pat Ewing, his first point of the game.
This is one statistic that Patrick Ewing has a considerable margin over Hakeem Olajuwon, and that's on the free throw line.
He's shooting 65. On the other hand, Hakeem is shooting 53%.
In the lane a little early.
Georgetown now has scored 6 straight points, and they've cut it to 2.
Now, the ball club on the court right now is probably the best team that John Thompson can put on the floor offensively. Push.
That'll be on Jackson, and they were jockeying for position, and that intimidation by Georgetown, they're getting themselves some fouls.
Houston's setting up very well, though, against that press. Michael Young came right down the pipe to catch that ball. So far, I don't think they've been intimidated and taken out of their strategy.
13 foul now against the Hoyas.
Straight man-to-man now. Everybody picking up somebody, and
Michael Young shooting so well. That time he hurried the shot. Winslow almost dribbled the ball, and he did. He traveled with it.
What's interesting on that matchup, it's Graham going against Hakeem Olajuwon, not Patrick Ewing. So John Thompson saying, hey, I'm not going to get Hakeem, and I'm not going to allow Hakeem to get my man in foul trouble right off the bat. That
last shot by Young was their first missed field goal of this ball game. I think they're shooting that well, Billy, but only leading by 2 points.
A very dangerous offensive club on the floor now for Georgetown because Williams and Wingate can score, and so can Jackson.
Michael Graham, and he's called for charges. That's his second personal foul, 14th foul against Georgetown.
Got to question the offensive move by Graham here. With so many good offensive players on the floor, his job's to rebound and play defense, and he didn't need to go in there. And see Hakeem get a piece of that. So both coaches are protecting their big men in different ways. Houston by playing the zone, and Georgetown by playing someone else on the key offensive player.
Ooh, that was a tough catch that time by Young, almost stolen. Geddes, who was third in the nation in assists, inbounding the ball, and here comes Franklin.
Jackson is not Smith, but Franklin handled him pretty well.
Winslow, and Ewing came out on him and blocked it. Reggie Williams, that's goaltending. Winslow up again.
Winslow would have been smart to let that one alone. Hakeem tells him just to relax a little bit. Now what happened right there? Winslow obviously not very used to having a guy like Hakeem to come out and challenge his jump shot, or have Ewing come out and challenge his jump shot. So now we're seeing on the pressure that Georgetown plays right now, man-to-man. Ewing's back in his safety, but then they'll switch men when they get to the other end of the court.
Now coming in is Bill Martin and Horace Brodnax. Brodnax is number 32 on Alvin Franklin. So Georgetown, after trailing by 8, has tied it up. 8 straight unanswered points until that play.
There was a case where Ewing tried to help out. Nobody on Hakeem at all. Good pass.
4 points for the Giant, the All-American. 16-14, Houston with the lead.
Bill Martin, a better scorer on the inside. He's got a nice-looking jump shot. Everybody out there is a good shooter.
Brodnax not able to get it. Ewing is there and very nicely puts it back up. He has 4 points. It's tied up.
Georgetown gives you so many different types of pressure. Here, Bill Martin playing Geddes. Pretty good size matchup there.
Geddes that time handling it well.
And now we've got Ewing on Olajuwon on the other end.
Franklin, that's a play he likes. He's so strong. The hang time. Winslow to Hakeem.
Fade away. He did not take it at Patrick Ewing. He tried to fade away.
And Winslow wanted to shoot it, but thought better of it because Patrick was there. Here's Wingate at the other end. And for the first time in this game, Georgetown has taken the lead, 18-16.
What they're also doing, Gary, they're starting to put a little pressure on defensively in the full court press, taking Houston out of the opportunity to go straight at the basket early.
Michael Young, who started him out so well.
See if Houston tries to go to Hakeem with Patrick Ewing on. Here comes Hakeem across the lane.
And Ewing commits the foul.
Excellent move, and I don't know how long John Thompson can afford to go. Now, he'll work the referees a little bit. You'll see Hakeem's going to try to go for position. Patrick Ewing's going to try to stop him from coming across the lane. Now he goes. He breaks the lane. Patrick Ewing holds him with his arm.
Now, Ewing, as far as his foul-out situation is concerned, he's fouled out of only 2 games this year.
Houston wanting to go for the lob.
There's Michael Young. Change shot because of Ewing. Georgetown by 2. Patrick quickly down at the other end.
He can run the length of the court. He and Olajuwon are amazing how they can get up down the court.
Reggie Williams, Ewing to follow. 6 points for Pat Ewing.
Very difficult to block out in the zone defense because you have assigned areas and not a man. And so far, Houston not doing a good job blocking out.
After this outstanding start by Houston, Georgetown has come back now to take a 4-point lead. And Franklin walked to the ball. Brodnax with a good defense.
Reed Geddes made the fake him out. He actually was going to be there in a forward position, but he went back door just as Franklin picked up his dribble.
Guy Lewis, his 3rd year at the Final Four, 2nd consecutive year to be in the championship game. Wingate against Young. Hakeem had a hand on it, but Georgetown able to come up with it.
The zone is not doing a good job off the boards. Georgetown getting many 2-shot opportunities. There's another one.
This time Winslow and Wingate battle, and Franklin will have it wide open. Geddes.
We saw Reed Geddes have his only dunk of the year in the Virginia game. Any other player in the Houston team would have flushed that one.
20-18. They cut the Hoyas lead to 2.
Give Franklin some credit for realizing that Geddes was wide open on the other end of the court.
This Georgetown team, you're talking about rebounded. They've out-rebounded most teams by about 10 per game. Broadnax. Coaches tell me they have a battle as to whether Jackson or Broadnax is the better outside shooter on the team.
Well, fortunately for John Thompson, he just waits each game to see which one has the hot hand.
Young. And that'll be a foul on Michael Young, I believe. Yep.
Foul on Young. A very smart play by Young and a smart play also by Patrick Ewing. Watch this. Young realizes that he's going to challenge Ewing, and Ewing really did a very, very smart move right there. Drawing the charge as opposed to going up for the block.
And Young a little shaken up, holding his midsection as he retreats to the bench. Timeout with 10 minutes to go in this first half. Georgetown by 4. The Kingdom in Seattle, the championship game in the Final Four. Georgetown against Houston. Let's look at that last charge by Michael Young.
Well, Michael Young was going to take it to Ewing, and a very good move on his part, but just out-executed by Patrick Ewing, who didn't go for it at all and stayed right in a good charge position, charge block position, and drew the charge. Smart play by Ewing.
Young got him started so well. Houston hit their first 7. Now they've hit only 2 of their last 8 shots from the field.
Now, Gary, excitement's going to take place. Benny Anders is in the game. Winslow out. Anders the kind of guy that could come in explosive, or he could really hurt Houston at this point, trying to do too much too soon.
Anders is number 33 in red. Ewing.
Some shot.
Ewing with 8 points, 24-18 Georgetown. Here's Anders. Anders has only played a maximum of 11 minutes since his suspension when he left the ball club.
He's certainly capable, though, physically, to have a big game here. But sometimes he can hurt you by trying to go crazy.
9 minutes, 20 seconds to go until halftime. Here's Anders. That might light him up.
That's the guy. You got to watch him. I really imagine if you're John Thompson, you did not want to see that, because Benny Anders is a great talent.
24-20. Broadnax and Jackson are 2 best outside shooters.
Patrick Ewing just got a nice elbow in Anders' ear to let him know he's on that side of the court.
Reggie Williams, 2 men up in his face. He follows his own shot. And it's back to a 6-point lead for Georgetown.
Georgetown absolutely killing Houston on second shot opportunities. Houston not blocking out. It's costing him.
Reed Geddes again breaking the pressure. Broadnax, and it's going to be a foul on Broadnax.
That brought John Thompson right out of his chair. He's wanting an offensive push-off, and I believe that John was correct on that one.
At halftime, Brent will visit with this man from Kentucky, Joe B. Hall, and also Terry Holland from Virginia, who brought their teams to this Final Four, losing on Saturday.
I like Joe B. Hall's comment after that game. He said, I went to bed and slept like a baby. I was up every hour crying. Some statement.
That foul, by the way, against Georgetown was his 6th.
No question about the accuracy on that one.
Hakeem, who led the nation in field goal percentage, and you can understand why on those kind of shots. Broadnax to Williams, and Hakeem shut off the baseline, but he still got it.
That is hard to believe. There's the Iceman Gervin imitation. Great play. When you have that kind of defender in your face, you can shift the ball over and still have a soft touch.
28-22, Georgetown.
Well, Hakeem and Patrick Ewing are really shoving underneath.
And they caught Patrick again. Ewing reaching around, committing his 2nd, and now they'll be shooting free throws. That's the 7th team foul.
They are really going after each other. Both men extremely strong, really going after each other. And referees have to clean it up a little bit in there. Nothing dirty, but an awful lot of pushing and shoving for position.
First meeting between these 2, Ewing and Hakeem.
I believe, and here's, I was just going to say, I believe that John Thompson is going to have to come in here with a little size like Dalton. He's going to change things around so that Patrick Ewing isn't stuck on Hakeem Olajuwon.
So Dalton does come in, the 6'11 junior, and sitting down will be Reggie Williams. Hakeem at the line, and Houston not a good free throw shooting team. We talked about Olajuwon earlier, shooting only 53%.
But Dalton, you can be sure, will be assigned to Hakeem Olajuwon the next time down court.
That may be a trend, and that's got to concern Guy Lewis already at the free throw line with 7.5 minutes left in this first half.
Oh, big call there, because Dalton actually should never have received that pass. He was on the move going to the basket. And he's not capable of catching that ball on the move like that, so a big break for Georgetown.
Geddes committing the foul, his fourth team foul against Houston, and Michael Graham will come back in. Ewing will check out. Ewing at the 7:35 mark leads with 8 points and 3 rebounds.
Really fine substitutions by John Thompson, because he figures with a little bit of a working margin here, he can get some minutes and have Patrick Ewing sit down without picking up that third.
Guy Lewis in the first game only substituted 2 men for a total of 1 minute. He's already made more substitutions here with Benny Anderson.
It'd be a bad time for Houston to think about going man-to-man with Ewing out of the game, because Olajuwon could guard Dalton and not worry at all. Now, John Thompson's going to force him to come out of the zone and play man-to-man. I really think this is in Houston's best advantage. I think Houston can play a man-to-man with this team.
Wingate. Graham follows his own shot.
Houston was a little confused.
4 points for Michael Graham. An 8-point lead now for Georgetown. Benny Anderson who hit his first shot.
Georgetown goes zone.
They like to do, Billy, is push you back out, make you shoot from further out than you'd like to. Now Franklin has the shot. Hakeem went up and over the back. That's his foul, and that will be his second.
Graham trying a little intimidation there, wanting to shake hands with Hakeem. Hakeem not want any part of that.
Now Ricky Winslow is going to come back into the Houston lineup.
Now John Thompson did this against Kentucky. When he got that lead, he didn't want to play against Kentucky in the zone. But I really believe with a club on the floor that Houston can play man-to-man against Georgetown. But they're still in the 2-3 zone. Let's see if John Thompson pulls them out.
You were talking about those second chance points, 8-2 in favor of Georgetown.
And here goes John Thompson, a little four-corner type move.
Bill Martin, the outstanding sixth man that they brought off the bench all year long.
Houston needs to get reorganized defensively. If they see that they can't get by with the zone, they need to know what defense they're in.
So after leading by 8 earlier, now they find themselves trailing by 10 with 6 minutes to go in this first half.
Michael Young's got a jumper.
And now they're just not really with the positive passes or the attack offensively they had the first 5 minutes.
I really believe they're confused more defensively than they are offensively. Dalton on a hold.
Dalton reaching in on Hakeem. Hakeem working very hard to find any operating room inside. First foul on Dalton.
You hate to use your timeouts, but it'd be a good time for Guy Lewis to use one and get his club organized defensively.
Well, inbounds the ball. Winslow.
Look for the lob here. Both Hakeem and...
Why aren't they shooting free throws? What I don't understand.
Oh, they are. Well, the fans are starting to call air ball one-and-one situation.
They start inbounds. They just don't want to shoot. Houston's free throws are one of the things they would just soon forget about. And Hakeem looked like he wanted inbounds, and he missed another one.
Graham looking like he's coming back with another superlative effort. He's really getting up on the boards.
He's playing more under control than when we saw him earlier in that West Regional.
Try to figure out what they're doing here defensively. Looks like a little bit of a zone trap. And it is a zone trap, but Georgetown really handling it well.
Dalton, I think it went off of Houston, didn't it?
It hit Hakeem's foot.
That was a nice pass. Wingate's done a good job, Billy, penetrating and dishing the ball off.
Houston has to make up their mind what defense they're in.
The rebounds, the second chance points. There's the rebound. Hakeem had inside position that time.
First chance to move it down court. First time they've been able to get a good defensive rebound.
There's where Young started. This time, not the same result. Winslow. They know that Ewing's not in there now, and oh, what a foul. No, they're going to call traveling.
Benny Anders went ahead and made one move too many. Houston kids are starting to look at the scoreboard a little bit now, starting to get frustrated. Anders had to move. If he hadn't taken that step, he'd have had a foul. He took the step before the foul. That was a good call. The fans are booing now because they can see the big screen.
They can see that directly behind us. Graham, of course, is not subtle in anything that he does, and the crowd quick to react to that play.
That's a 1-3-1 trap. So far, Georgetown has handled it very well.
32-22, Georgetown the lead. Jackson, here's Graham.
Really believe Houston should play a man-to-man at this point, because Georgetown pretty clever.
Dalton off to Bill Martin, who's the best leaper vertically on the team. Winslow out to Franklin.
How about Hakeem? He beat everybody down the court that time, right from out under the basket.
Franklin with 4 points.
Here's the trap. 1-3-1. Great size out there for Houston on the wings, because you have Winslow and Anders that are extremely active.
There's the steal by Benny Anders. 3 turnovers against Georgetown. Anders, and he's come in and done a very good job.
Now, John Thompson's going to think back about this game. He had everything going his way. He was getting a lot of second chances. And now by pulling Houston out and forcing them to become aggressive defensively, it's backfired on him.
32-26 Georgetown, 3:45 until halftime. Out to Wingate. Wingate just keeps taking it inside on to Martin.
Great catch by Martin.
Wingate has an explosive first step, and he goes by you and creates difficulty inside.
He's a real slasher. Gary, we talked about Gene Smith at the top of the show, but maybe that ankle is causing more problems than we thought.
Yeah, an arch and an ankle is bothered in his right foot. Hakeem.
Gets the foul also. That was some step by Hakeem. I'd like to see it over, see if he was walking. Let's see this move right here. Good spin. Pretty good move. He held that pivot foot solid.
You're going to give that foul to Michael Graham. We thought at first it might be Dalton, but it's Graham instead, and that's his 3rd foul.
And that's a very important foul, because John Thompson would like to have him available in the second half. Fouls again. Trouble.
A 10-point lead now has been cut down to 34-28.
Georgetown's going to have to attack a little bit here.
That'll be a foul. Nope. They're going to call
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Where did that come from?
I don't know, Gary. I didn't see any 5-second call on that one. John Thompson going to go through the ceiling when he hears it was 5 seconds.
Well, we thought foul, we thought traveling, and it was a 5-second call. The ball goes back to Houston. Houston now making a push with 3 minutes to go in the first half. It's been a game of surges. Early, it was Houston by 8, and Georgetown took a 10-point lead. Houston now back on their second surge of the game. They've whittled it down to 6 with 3 minutes left in the first half.
Seems like John Thompson a little bit more satisfied with that call than we are. I thought he'd be hot about that one. Very composed.
You can see the team fouls. Georgetown has already sent Houston to the free throw line.
Straight man-to-man now by Georgetown. Got a tough matchup for Dalton. Oh, what a shot.
Michael Young, after he shot that ball, grabbed his stomach again. He was shaken up earlier when he collided with Ewing, and now it's back to a 4-point game.
I'm sure everybody has read about Michael Young's brother being shot. He is really doing a fine job out here tonight.
Somebody was concerned whether that would affect his play. It has not, as you can see, as well as he's played in the first half.
And by coming out of that zone, pressing Georgetown, and I really felt it was an excellent move, and John Thompson took that calculated gamble, but it really has picked up Houston because they've become more aggressive on this end of the court.
Fred Brown has come into the ball game. Martin, 24, will sit down for the Hoyas. 2:27 left in the first half.
This is a much better Houston team when they're aggressive on defense. They're causing Georgetown a lot of problems now.
Reggie Williams, and they're going to have 3 seconds in the lane.
We saw a very passive Houston team on Saturday, and we saw them start this game very passively, getting killed off the boards, and by coming out now aggressively, they're giving Georgetown an awful lot of problems.
5 turnovers against Georgetown.
Man-to-man down on the other end. Look for Hakeem to work on Dalton.
Young wants the shot. Rebound Williams.
They can get a better shot inside.
Fred Brown open to Jackson. That's what Brown does so well. Sees the whole floor, finds the open man.
Hakeem probably was better off, Gary, not going out trying to block that kind of shot.
Ooh, too tall that time for Young, as Jackson was giving Franklin some difficulty, and 2 times down the floor now. Houston has not set up their offense.
Right, bad pass, bad shot, and you have Dalton playing Hakeem. You would figure Houston be a little more patient.
Center comparison. Ewing sitting down quite a bit of this first half. Reggie Williams. Hakeem with the rebound. That's 4 for Olajuwon.
Houston would really be smart to go into Hakeem one time with Dalton guarding him. He's got it.
Hakeem is looking to the official. He wants Dalton to get off of him. He is really playing tough fronting him.
Yeah, be a foul on Dalton.
They called it on Hakeem. What? What are they going to call?
I thought he said 32.
They're going to call 3 seconds, I believe, Billy.
All right. A lot of hands, a lot of pushing in there.
That's what it is. It's a 3-second lane violation. That's 8 turnovers. 50 seconds left in this first half. Ewing went out at the 7:35 mark. At that point, it was a 6-point lead for Georgetown. And Williams foul. And a foul.
Foul on Hakeem. That's his third. Excellent fake by Williams inside.
So back to the 8-point lead with 42 seconds.
What a fake inside. Altered the ball. Great play. Wingate on the inside. Good feed from Williams.
Now Braxton Clark will come in for Houston, and he has not played very much. He is the junior college transfer who, along with Benny Anders, left the Houston team in Hawaii. They were suspended. Guy, after serious deliberation, decided to bring him back. And all the games we've done this year, I don't think we've even seen Braxton in the ball game.
It's regardless of what Wingate does with this, Houston would be smart to hold for the last shot.
And Young had it taken away. That was Fred Brown who came out of there with it.
Be smart to hold for the last shot.
Williams. That was Clark who partially got a piece of the ball. And Wingate.
Tell me that Brown didn't do a great job going inside there and keeping the ball active. Grabbed one rebound, kept it active on another.
Well, Fred Brown was in that championship game 2 years ago, and as you saw at the top of this broadcast, he threw the pass that North Carolina intercepted. He'd like to be on the winning side this time. There'd be a foul on Wingate on the move inside. His first.
Excellent penetration by Franklin. Showed his explosive speed. 5 seconds to go. Be smart for Houston here to put on a full court press to take away some opportunity for Georgetown to get it down court easily.
Franklin, an excellent free throw shooter, second in the Southwest Conference. Houston thus far is 0 for 3 from the line.
But with 5 seconds on the clock, John Thompson making a move to bring in Broadbacks and have Jackson in there also to get it up the court quickly for shooting. But Georgetown, or rather Houston, should really go ahead and press full court here.
Already 6 assists, and the guy that you want to have at the free throw line misses. They're 0 for 4. Williams. And at halftime, Georgetown leads it by 10, 40 to 30. They trailed early by 8. Made that surge twice. They build it up to 10-point advantages. Let's go now to Brent Musburger. Houston starting out very poorly from the free throw line, missing 3 fronts of 1-and-1s, and then 4 free throws total on a 3-point play. They missed 1.
And Gene Smith did not get in the first half, Gary, so maybe he is unavailable.
Well, the coaches told me they thought he felt pretty good, so maybe they'll wait until late in the game.
Like what Houston's doing here, they're coming out very aggressively in that trapping defense.
That is turnover number 6 against the Hoyas.
Most great pressing teams don't like to be pressed. And that's what Houston did to Georgetown right there.
Georgetown with a different 5 than the ones that opened the game. Reggie Williams is starting the second half, as is Michael Graham.
This is probably Georgetown's best ball club on the floor right now.
Alvin Franklin changed the shot. Hakeem, and that may be his 4th foul and is.
He did push. Without question, he shoved off with his left hand. You're going to see the play right here, and what makes the play is when Franklin had to change his shot because of Patrick Ewing. There was the push off with the left hand. Hakeem got caught.
You know, the thing that must be frustrating to Hakeem, they've been subtle fouls. They haven't been of a major variety. A little push here, but they all count the same. He's in trouble. Williams.
And Williams really knew it. We went right at Hakeem. Hakeem normally smacked that ball away, but he cannot afford to pick up number 5. And Cadillac Anderson is coming to the sidelines.
Greg Anderson, biggest lead of the ball game now for the Hoyas by 12. Hakeem, they got it into him after the deflection. Ewing blocked it. Saved by Michael Young, and Houston needed that basket. Young with 10 points.
Guy Lewis has a tough decision to make, and with this much time, he almost has to give Anderson a little bit of a shot at it. Again, going right back at him.
Nice pass, and Michael Graham took over from there. Graham was 6. Graham and Williams, both freshmen, starting out the second half so effectively for John Thompson.
Georgetown playing a man-to-man. Olajuwon with Graham on him.
There's Hakeem, and that'll salve a few wounds, but first break, they're going to have to get him out of there with those 4 fouls.
Graham really wasn't thinking too much that time. He's almost back like in a zone situation.
Hakeem with 10 points, 10-point lead, and that's been thrown away. Wingate intended for Ewing. Here comes Greg Anderson. Now, Anderson early in the year was a starter at a forward spot. He's 6'10". He's out of the Houston area. Hakeem will sit down.
Hakeem is going to ask to stay in the ball game right now, but you really can't let him out there with this much time. You've got to see what you can do to make a move with Anderson in the game. Man-to-man.
Reed Geddes, who hit all 3 of his shots that he took in the first half. Michael Young. That's Graham up and rejecting it.
Michael Young had to beat his man, then Ewing, then Graham to go ahead and get that shot off. Just great reaction by Georgetown's man-to-man defense.
They support so well inside when somebody gets beat.
What Reed Geddes was saying to the referee, good lob pass, is that Michael Graham grabbed the net to get himself some balance to go for that block, and he was correct.
Greg Anderson, by the way, who's in the ball game, did not even play Saturday. So the freshman getting his first competition here at the Kingdome. Michael Young.
Ewing again coming out from the block.
Alvin Franklin, that'll count, and a foul.
And that's exactly what was happening to Houston in the first half. When Olajuwon would go out for the block, nobody was covering for him on the rebound. Now watch, Olajuwon goes out, tries to make the block, but nobody's helping out inside for his block out. Franklin gets it, goes up with the left hand, and makes a nice shot.
The foul going on Wingate, his second. Alvin Franklin now with a chance for 3-point play. What's the indecision here now?
Is saying that they want Anderson on the line, but it really is Franklin is the fellow that got fouled on the shot. Without question, Franklin was the shooter.
Booker Turner is going to. Oh, we've got a technical.
For grasping the rim.
Somebody hanging on the rim that time.
Must have been Anderson grabbing the rim.
Georgetown's number 40,
David
Wingate, his second, team's first.
Now here's a free throw by Franklin. That completes the 3-point play, but here's the technical.
Oh, that was... He just touched the rim. That wasn't grasping the rim at all. I don't like that call one bit. Not even close to grasping the rim.
I'll tell you one thing, Billy. We got to be on our toes here tonight in this one.
Well, wait a minute. Franklin has already taken his shots. The officials are really confused here. That really, in a championship ball game, Gary, we've done a lot of games this year, and that wasn't even close to being grasping the rim. Remember Sam Bowie on Saturday went down over the top of the pack, actually almost tore the rim down. That was hardly a touch.
Well, here's Jackson shooting the technical.
Let's see the play again. Franklin gets shot. He goes up. He just puts, I mean, he didn't even pull, hardly had any tension on the rim there. Just went up. But that's the call.
The moral of that story is wait till you see the replays, huh? Here is Ewing. Rebound by Geddes. Houston playing now with a lot more confidence. 45-37.
Georgetown dropping back now. Looks playing a little, looks like they're going to try to play a little box and one. They're playing a little triangle and two right now.
Michael Young, a difficult shot, and what a play by Anderson.
It looked like Georgetown that time wanted to play a Mickey Mouse defense, and that's not normal for them.
Boy, Greg Anderson, that's got to help his confidence. 45-39, they've cut it to 6. Wingate, rebound, Michael Young, and without Hakeem, this Houston team is making a run.
To give Guy Lewis a lot of credit, he took Hakeem out. He had the courage to go with his people. Now, let's see this defense.
Winslow will take Ewing, and Ewing takes him. We're going to have a hell ball, and it will go to Houston. On the alternating hell ball rule, Houston will be awarded the ball out of bounds this time.
Gary, certain players on the Georgetown team are playing the zone. There's the pass quickly.
Young missed a shot he'd like to have back. Wingate, Jackson. Inside play by Reggie Williams.
Big turn of events right there. Houston had an opportunity to really get an easy one.
You can see now Houston doing a better job on those second chance points. Franklin, big play against Jackson. Beautiful play. 9 points for Alvin Franklin.
Georgetown has a man-to-man on Young. The other fellas are playing the zone.
16 minutes to go in the game. 47-41. 6-point lead by the Hoyas.
Lob. Graham tipped that off with a little bit of eye contact.
8 points for Graham. Back to an 8-point lead for Georgetown. Guy Lewis is up now at center court, yelling instructions to Franklin.
Now Georgetown playing straight man-to-man.
Winslow, and that'll be off of Georgetown. Williams on the floor.
You can see the eye contact. Graham realizes everybody has shifted. He gives the signal. No question about that play.
Michael Young, same spot, different result this time. Young with 12 points. He had 17 in that game Saturday to lead this Houston team.
There's the 1-3-1 trap again by Houston. That is dropping back, changing their defense again.
Reggie Williams from the corner.
So smooth.
12 points. The high school player of the year a year ago at Dunbar in Baltimore.
He almost looks frail, but he has great hands. Such a smooth ball play.
Only 2 seniors on this Georgetown team. Both these clubs should be very strong next year. The team says he's going to come back for another year.
As Jackson reaching in.
Jackson committing the personal foul, his second.
It's amazing when John Thompson goes zone, he picks up a reach foul like that. He went back in the zone to protect himself from fouling.
Timeout, 14:43 to go in the game. Georgetown by 8. The Emerald City, Puget Sound area, Seattle, the Kingdom, and this beautiful city, the site of this championship game, and with 14:43 left in it, Georgetown by 8, 51-43. I'm Gary Bender along with Billy Packer. And Billy, Hakeem Olajuwon's been out 3.5 minutes. Houston during that time outscored Georgetown 9-7.
Almost reminds you of the Kentucky game when Patrick Ewing was sitting down with foul trouble and his teammates were able to regroup and do a good job. I would imagine, Gary, that Guy Lewis would try to keep him down on that bench to the 10-minute mark as long as he can stay in this game. But if they get down in double figures, he has to think seriously about taking chances and bringing him back.
Alvin Franklin will bring it out to Geddes.
There's the zone defense, a 2-3 zone by Georgetown.
Franklin penetrating. That's that move of his, that little hang motion in midair.
That's some athlete that can go in there among the trees, double pump, and still get the shot off. And look at his quickness defensively.
He has 11 points. Reggie Williams is left open. And that was Anderson that tipped it away. He got up above Ewing that time. So Greg's made 2 contributions in the second half.
I believe what we'll see when Olajuwon comes back in a game, he will not substitute for Anderson. They'll play both big men.
Franklin is hurt.
Franklin's hurt.
Alvin Franklin, after he hit the shot, hurt himself.
And he's holding his knee.
So after scoring the last 2 baskets, that would be a severe blow, obviously, to Houston. He has 9 points in this half.
See the play coming up. He goes up.
Looks like he came down off of Williams' foot.
We'll see. It looks like he's walking off all right. He just came down in an unusual position.
I don't know if he hit his foot or not.
Oh, no, it looks like that. Yep, it just came down in an unusual way, but he walked off. And it looks like they're working on the ankle now, not the knee.
Coming into the ball game now is Derek Giles. Giles checking in. He's a senior out of Queens, New York. Also, Eric Dickens has checked into the ball game.
You've got the threesome going in here to press.
Yes, and Ronaldo Thomas,
right.
They call them the Smothers Brothers. They haven't used them as a unit for some time, but they're in there now to create some havoc defensively.
As I said, most good pressing teams don't like to be pressed. Let's see what happens to Georgetown here.
And we're going to have a foul. Picking up the foul will be Dickens.
And of all people to beat the press, Patrick Ewing at the top of the key.
Those three guys we just mentioned, Giles, Dickens, and Thomas, wear around at workouts and everything. Jackets with the Smothers Brothers written on the back of it.
I was mentioning about Hakeem Olajuwon coming back in. If he and Anderson are back in there, they'd match up very well with Georgetown.
You know, it's interesting now, Billy, only one starter for Houston is in there. That's Winslow.
Billy Martin, some play.
53-47 Georgetown. 13.5 minutes to go in the game.
Where do the points come from with this club?
Well, they probably hope on the steal, on the turnover. That's off of Wingate.
Good defensive team, but you've got to question where they're going to get any offensive play. There's Ray and Marge.
Really enjoyed him this week, watching practices, sitting, talking to him about his outstanding career. Had a get-together for him on Saturday night.
Anderson's open. They won't give him the ball inside.
Billy, you said it well. Who's going to score? Who wants to shoot it now?
It wouldn't be a bad idea for Guy Lewis to sit on the ball a little bit. Take some time off the clock here.
Baseline, he stepped on it. That will give the ball back to Georgetown. Rodnax will come back into the ball game. 9 turnovers against Houston.
They really do have a problem with this club offensively, but if they held the ball a little bit, just to take some time off the clock to shorten the game for Olajuwon.
So the Smothers Brothers are running after people. Can they create any problems? Thus far, Georgetown's handled that pressure.
Might have been a walk.
Instead, though, we're going to have a foul on Winslow.
Giles and Dickens, remember last year when we were in Syracuse, they had Giles and Dickens and Franklin was really in the third position at the point guard at that time. So these two fellas can play.
Guy Lewis trying somehow to get some help defensively now with those three guys in there. 12:48 left in this game.
They're back in his zone, but Thomas is awful small on his side, and they come right over it.
Wingate, nice touch off the glass.
Georgetown really attacks you where you're weak. Thomas is the small guy in the back line. They get the ball in exactly the right spot.
Now they're going to bring Hakeem, Franklin, Winslow, and Geddes back in at the first opportunity. All four of them have checked to the scorer's table.
Guy Lewis might use a timeout here to get him back in the game and not lose this possession.
And that's going to be a foul on Wingate, and that will give them the opportunity to bring all four of them in. That foul on Wingate was his third. Hakeem coming in, playing with 4 personal fouls.
Back with his regular starting lineup, I really thought that Anderson would stay in the ball game with this team.
Well, he had the one basket. He also had the tip out, contributed. But they may figure if Hakeem fouls out, he's going to have to go the rest of the way.
And he's only got 12 minutes. He shouldn't be tired.
Franklin coming back in. Glad to see him.
That should be a good basket. That basket should count.
So we're going to have a foul. It's going to go on Ewing.
This basket should count. The ball is in the cylinder, and people touch it right there. You can see the ball was touched while it's in the cylinder. Should have been 2 points.
Instead, it's Ewing's third personal foul, so the opposing Giant is in some foul difficulty.
Georgetown, number 20, Fred Brown, replacing Patrick Ewing.
Brown will come in, and Ewing instantly is taken out of the game by John Thompson.
Well, one of the things that John has to his advantage, he has an excellent delay game, so he can afford to have Patrick sitting over there, realizing that if he has this kind of a lead down to 4-minute time, he's going to take Patrick out.
Houston from the free throw line is 1 of 5. And Winslow Gets the second one to go. That's his first points. He's shooting around 60%. He has improved that as the year has gone on. And he gets the roll. It's a 6-point lead again for Georgetown.
Houston stays in that good pressing attack.
That's Brodneck's. Nice move down the middle.
As I said, they attack you where you're weak. And although Olajuwon's a great defender, they realize with 4 fouls, he's not going to try to block the shot.
Hakeem was out of the ball game for 5:56. In now playing with 4 fouls. Franklin right now single-handedly is carrying Houston offensively.
He is some kind of athlete. Went down with what looked like a sprained ankle. He's right back there on the court. This is the 3rd time he's come in and double pumped his way to 2 points.
Team's fifth. Alvin Franklin shooting 1.
Brown committing the foul. Franklin with 15 points. Last year, everybody said this was the guy that really wasn't up to what they thought they needed for a national championship, a freshman guard. He's the biggest improvement on this Houston team.
And Houston's still staying in that 1-3-1 trap, and it's been very effective. They're a much better team, as we said at the outset of the show, if they come and get you.
Martin missed the stuff. Geddes couldn't save it. It'll be Georgetown's basketball. Phil Martin, who, as we said, has a biggest vertical leap of anybody on this team, that time just couldn't get the ball to go down for him.
Well, we mentioned Billy Martin came from D.C. with Anthony Jones. Both of them going to Georgetown, 2 of the premier high school forwards in the country. Anthony Jones now transferred to UNLV.
11 minutes and a half to go. 57-52, Georgetown with the lead.
You remember in the first half when Houston went back to the 2-3 zone, Georgetown pulled the ball out. I believe John Thompson learned a lesson there, said we're better letting them play passive defense.
Wingate, Hakeem has to be careful. Rebound by Michael Young. Hakeem wisely stayed out of that one.
And it's an important possession here, and Franklin's just eating them alive.
It's going to be another foul. This one will go on Brodneck's. Franklin is just saying, hey, I'm going to take over.
Now, let's remember one thing. He's eaten Georgetown alive on the clear-out play. Normally, John Thompson would go down and say, Gene Smith, he's your man.
Good
but
point.
Gene Smith has not been able to play tonight because of the bad arch. So it looks like he's not going to see any action, and now Houston's taking advantage of it.
For Georgetown, Michael Jackson.
Okay, Kentucky wished Gene Smith hadn't played.
You better believe it. He came out and ran around the court before the game. It looked like he was going to be able to play, but without him in there, Guy Lewis is attacking that point position.
Franklin again. Michael Young. Hakeem's got it. It's batted away by Brown.
I thought Hakeem was grabbed on the arm.
Winslow commits the foul, and I think the crowd might agree with you.
Hakeem is telling the referee he grabbed him right on the arm, and I would certainly agree. Guy Lewis can't believe it.
That foul on Winslow is his second, 4th team foul against Guy Lewis's team.
That was a very big possession. Houston could have got it down within 3. Now let's see if Georgetown going to try to hold it out a while. Obviously not.
Baseline, Bill. Rebound, 2 guys. Hakeem eventually. Ewing goes down. He's okay.
That was Winslow right up there with everybody.
And that's going to be another foul, and Franklin is going to get everybody in foul difficulty at the rate he's going right now.
Right now, Georgetown does not have somebody that can handle Franklin one-on-one, and he's taking advantage of it.
That now is 17 fouls, so they go to the free throw line.
It may be Fred Brown. Now, John Thompson's talking to him. Freddie, before he hurt his knee, was a very tough one-on-one defender. He's lost some of that quickness now, but he may be strong enough to stay with Franklin.
Franklin gets a roll. He looks skyward after hitting that one. 57-53.
Barry, this is not quite as bizarre as the Kentucky-Georgetown game, but it has been bizarre because it flows back and forth. One team looks like they have the advantage, and the other one comes right back.
Franklin with 18 points.
And Georgetown getting a little tentative now as Houston picks it up.
There's Geddes going for the steal. 10 10 minutes, 15 seconds left of the game.
Houston stepping that zone out. Doesn't even look anything like what Virginia's.
There's Winslow with a block. Williams just a super left-handed move. There's Gene Smith, the man we've been talking about. We thought would play. We talked to the coaches, the trainer. They said he was ready. But evidently, John Thompson elected that he was not ready to go.
Now Graham back in for defensive purposes. Here comes Franklin again. Now it's Jackson's job to try to stop it. And you see Houston clearing out down on the baseline, and that's Reed Geddes setting an illegal screen.
Geddes committing his second foul, 15 foul against Houston.
Geddes went headhunting on that one. He just had his hands out like he was blocking in deep as a football player, and really picked up a cheap foul. Not
We're going to have a timeout, Billy, with 9:53 to go. Georgetown with a 59-54 lead after leading by 10 at halftime.
Okay, you can see Reed Geddes right under the basket, right behind Ewing. Now, he's going to go over and set a screen, but watch him pick up his forearms and drive it right into the Georgetown player to create the foul. Just an illegal screen on his part, and Fred Brown picks up the foul.
Looks like pass blocking. Geddes committing the foul. Reed in the
That's what I
first
was trying
half.
to think of, Gary. What? Pass blocking, that's it. I'm not into that football like you are, but that's exactly what he did.
I started to say Geddes in that first half, Billy, hit all 3 of his shots. He hasn't attempted one in the second half. 59-54 Georgetown, 9:53 left in this game.
And you can see right now the 1-3-1 trap by Houston, which has been so effective. It's made Georgetown a little passive. And got Graham all the way on the other side, ready for the lob. There it is. Excellent execution by Georgetown. Graham just held his ground, didn't get into the 3-second lane area.
That's 10 points for Michael Brown, and Jackson almost getting his feet completely tangled up, trying to stay with Franklin. Michael Young, nice pass to Winslow, but he traveled with the ball.
Good job by Patrick Ewing.
12 turnovers against Sky Lewis and the Houston Cougars.
Getting down to critical time now. You can't afford to have those possessions and not get something on the board.
Well, last time down, they had the screen, the foul. They didn't get the shot up, and this time, the traveling violation.
Here you have a situation where Georgetown realized what the defense is now, and what you want to do, well, Patrick Ewing walks. But Gary, what you want to do is to make them run from side to side. After you tire them out a little bit, then you can go to Graham. And Georgetown, the last time down at court, really executed well. That time just a malfunction on the walk.
9 minutes to go. Oh, Geddes pushing off on that play.
Good job by Williams defensively.
Here's Hakeem. Hakeem with 12 points.
But again, a wise move by John Thompson, letting Graham handle Hakeem. Keep Ewing free for rebounding and help out.
Ewing to Jackson. Ewing so unselfish. Areas of the rebound. And Hakeem blocked it. He's got to be careful. He'll pick up that big foul, and he got away with it.
What a play!
Michael Young, Winslow, and it's going to be off of Winslow. Golden opportunity got away for Houston.
And a play by Hakeem Olajuwon on the other end of the court was as fine a defensive sequence by a big man as I've ever seen because of the people he was having to stop.
And with 4 fouls, he had 205 blocks coming into this game, the #1 mark in the country. With 8:10 to go, Georgetown with a lead of 5. We want to reconstruct this last flurry under the basket. What a job by Olajuwon.
Look at Olajuwon was out front. Now Patrick Ewing grabs the rebound. Normally he just stuffs this down through, but Hakeem stays right with him, blocks one shot. Graham gives him a couple of pumps and changes on over with his left hand, which he likes to use. Hakeem stays right with him and then grabs the rebound over Patrick Ewing. That was some play with 4 fouls on it.
That's right. Guy Lewis had to be holding his breath and his towel when he saw Hakeem with 4 going after both those guys. Winslow commits the foul.
Not a bad move.
That's 3 on Winslow. 16 fouls. 1 more, and Georgetown will be at the free throw line. There's your time left. 2 timeouts remaining for Georgetown, 3 for Houston, as a crowd of 38,471 for this one. Here is Reggie Williams.
He is playing some ball game. He realized Hakeem was coming at him and just lofted the shot over.
Williams was 16. He had a tie earlier this year of 22 points.
Showing some pretty good defensive footwork also.
Williams touched it last. Geddes upset it himself.
Williams really playing Geddes head-to-head right now and giving Geddes a lot of trouble. What Ty Lewis is trying to do now is go ahead, free up Franklin a little bit. Not wear him down by having to handle the ball so much.
That's a tough pass, but a foul. Who's it going to go on? Graham? Ewing was looking around. He thought he may have his 4th.
Well, they really had Hakeem sandwiched there. The pass might not have been the wisest one, because there you've got, look at you trying to thread a needle there with a guy like Patrick Ewing, and hard to get it in, and Graham push.
That's what Geddes does so well, though. He will go in there. He has the courage to try to get the ball. Graham, instead of Ewing, picks up his 4th foul. And Hakeem, who missed those free throws in the first half, 0 for 3 at the line, and they were the front ends of 1-and-1s on 2 occasions. He has 13 points. He had 2 big free throws in that overtime game.
You're looking at the fellow that was the MVP last year. And remember the year before in the semifinals when Houston lost to North Carolina, Hakeem did not start that game, but still played well.
He wants to come back and get to the Final Four 4 years in a row. 63-58, a 5-point lead for the Hoyas.
There's that 1-3-1 trap again. Georgetown trying to surround it.
That pass, somehow Brown caught up with it.
He thought Ewing was going to be able to pick it off for the dunk.
Winslow, oh, that's some collision as he collides with Jackson. And Ricky Winslow now with 4 fouls himself.
Winslow has the quickness, but he just had too much ground to try to cover on that lob.
That's the 17th foul. So both teams from here on now will be shooting free throws. With 7 minutes, 17 seconds left to go.
And if you're Georgetown, Jackson's the man you want on the line.
Jackson at 12 of 12 against Nevada, Las Vegas. And coming into this game in NCAA play, he's hit 19 of 23 from the line. 81% for the year. Dead center with that one. Jackson started this year with a shoulder injury. Slow coming around, but has been the starter down the stretch, starting 19 games for the Hoyas. Dalton will now come back in, and Graham with his 4 fouls will sit down.
John Thompson really uses that bench nicely, and he's got such an arsenal over there.
They're all role players, aren't they? Specialists.
Well, he has Wingate sitting down there. He still has a great offensive player. Probably saving Wingate to when he goes into the delay game.
Geddes had that ball almost taken away, and a foul will go on Fred Brown. Michael Young, Bill, he's working so hard off the ball to try to get away from Brown. Brown's sticking to him very, very tough.
Reed Geddes has not been able to get away from Williams, and I would imagine the next time down the court, Franklin will take that ball back over again.
That foul going on Brown was his 3rd. Michael Young, who struggled from the line all year long, shooting 65%. He has 12 points. Ewing is there. Less than 7 minutes to go. Oh, that was blocked by Young. It'll be off of Michael Young.
I'm surprised he took that shot.
Big John Thompson is too. He's up over there motioning.
He's motioning to him to pass that ball back out. They don't need a shot from the deep corner.
Here's Dalton, who came back from that severe knee injury, just reconstructed his knee. He has specially built tennis shoes. They're laced all the way up on his foot. There's a reach in by Young, saved by Franklin. 9 turnovers against Georgetown. They can cut it to 5. And do.
What Georgetown's got that tough decision to make now, Gary. Are they going to try to hold the ball and cut some clock down, or are they going to try to keep scoring? They're getting in that no man's land territory.
Ewing again, such patience as he brings it back out.
You don't attack every once in a while, you get yourself in trouble.
Williams is fouled by Michael Young. That's his second personal foul.
Isn't it amazing what freshmen can do? And you think a few years ago they weren't even eligible to play on the varsity team. Michael Young made sure that shot didn't go down.
Williams will go to the line. Good free throw shooter. Williams with 16 points, 7 rebounds. And he doesn't miss very often from that line. Fred Brown now going over, trying to settle him down a little bit. Brown is like the coach on the floor in the estimation of John Thompson.
When you have good technique, sooner or later you get to that line, you're going to make it.
6-point lead for Georgetown. 5:57 left in the game.
It's amazing also talking about freshmen. Williams doesn't even seem to be concerned that this is the national championship. Very composed.
That was Ewing who blocked it from behind. That shows you how quickly he can come over. His third block of the game.
What I'm wondering about is why Franklin is no longer taking the ball one-on-one.
Michael Young, a lot of trouble. Partially blocked. Georgetown might not be in any hurry now with 5.5 minutes to go and a 6-point lead.
What Dalton's given Georgetown is a little bit more experience, and he's going to go down that corner. He's a good target to pass to, and he's not going to look to try to make a one-on-one move. So gives John Thompson a much more solid club.
Houston asks for a timeout. They will have 2 remaining. Both teams have 2 remaining. But you made a good point a while ago. Why isn't Franklin shooting the ball, handling it more?
I don't know. He had that great string where nobody could really handle him one-on-one. I thought for maybe a time or two down the court, what Guy Lewis was doing is resting him. But he hasn't come back out for the ball in the last, let's say, 8-10 trips down the court.
I think the interesting thing about this game is the fact that the 2 giants have not scored that much. It was billed as a game between the 2 giants. Game in this 1984 year. A crowd of 38,471. Same as Saturday, the 3rd largest crowd ever to watch an NCAA basketball game. And Billy, to substantiate what I was saying earlier as far as the points are concerned, Olajuwon has scored 14 and Ewing 8. Of course, both of them have had some foul difficulty and haven't played as many minutes as they'd like.
Yeah, Gary, I heard a lot of people ask the question, which guy would you take first if you had the first pick in a draft? And I thought that Sam Bowie came up with the best answer I've heard all along. He said, if you give me the first pick, I'm going to give it back to you. Then I'll take the second pick and we'll go to war and it'll still be a Mexican standoff. Good answer.
And both these guys, Hakeem and Ewing, have indicated they will come back for their senior season. 66-60, Georgetown to the lead. 5:18 left. 2 timeouts left for both ball clubs. Both teams are shooting free throws. Ewing. He has 10 points.
Very much underrated offensive player. That was a good spin move. And the man now. Georgetown sticking right with him.
A basket by Ewing, his first points of the second half. Hold inside against Georgetown.
That's against Brown.
Yep, his 4th.
Not a smart play at all by Fred Brown. You don't want to foul at this point. You want clock to go ahead and work its way down, and John Thompson letting Fred know about it. On that particular play, though, Gary, you saw where Franklin did have the ball back in his possession.
Michael Young at the line. He's missed his only attempt thus far. Here comes Wingate back in, and Brown will sit down. And John Thompson, I'm sure, will sooner or later have something to say about that foul as Dickens will come back.
I don't think you have to say anything. You walk by John and he doesn't say something to you. You got the point.
So Young able to hit his first free throw of the game. Yeah, I think you're right. He gets his point across without saying anything.
Fred's down there, and he's not arguing about it either.
So Michael Young hits both of them. It's back to a 6-point lead for Georgetown. Boy, he's so smooth, isn't he? Williams floating through the air with 19 points.
With Wingate and Williams out there, Georgetown has two slashing fellas that can really penetrate to the basket. And here's Franklin on the clear out.
That's been the play. It'll count. And another foul. And you wonder where that's been for a while.
Well, I'm sure that Guy Lewis was resting him, but maybe he took a little bit too many possessions to get back out there at the top of the key, because Geddes really couldn't create anything there. Good move. This is the 4th time tonight he's taken his man to the hole with a little pump fake and been able to score.
Jackson committing the 3rd foul. In this half, Billy, are you ready for this? Houston's hit 10 of 11 from the line. So maybe
11 for 12.
They are down the stretch and under a lot of pressure, going to come through at the free throw line. High-point game. Benny Anders getting ready to come in for Houston.
Oh, a dangerous pass.
Winslow almost picked it off.
Winslow really rushing around the court. He's got a lot of that Clyde Drexler in him. He's got great quickness, leaping ability.
There's Graham again and changed his shot. Now that shows you something.
He is a left-hander, and I think he surprises everybody. They don't remember that he is.
But he's been slamming them in. This time he laid it up with nice touch. Dickens.
Big shot there.
First 2 points of the game for Dickens. 3:44. It's getting down now to where Houston's got to make their move now.
Williams is so cool over there.
Wingate way outside the Jackson. 3.5 minutes to go.
It's tough to chase when you spread the court out this way. Here comes all the way over to Jackson. That's a well-drilled team against the 1-3-1 trap, because Graham just holds his ground, waits for the ball to be rotated.
Graham with 14, 10 of those coming in the second half of play.
We may be talking about Graham as the MVP of this tournament. No freshman has ever won that.
Foul on Georgetown. Going to go on Reggie Williams, his second. Here comes Benny Anders in. He played in that first half. Hit 2 of 2 from the field.
And, of course, he's going to be able to give good size and quickness to start chasing. What Guy Lewis probably figures is Winslow's getting a little tired.
And that is Winslow who sits down. So Dickens, Anders, Franklin, Young, and Hakeem in the lineup.
It was Winslow's side in which Graham was able to go ahead and get that dunk. So Winslow, when you wear down, you start chasing, you just can't get back to your spot.
Officials being sure that everyone checked in correctly. Franklin at the line. Franklin having a brilliant game with 21 points.
Franklin went to the line. It was Hakeem that's supposed to be on the line. Officials wisely changed.
So Hakeem will have to shoot the 1-and-1 instead of Franklin. He tried his best, didn't he? Makes no difference. The big guy's right there.
And is that 12 of 13?
That's exactly right. 15 points for Hakeem. 74-68, Georgetown, 2:55 to go.
Houston has to start thinking about fouling now. Going to have to commit some fouls. And they would have been smart to foul Ewing the minute he touches that ball. Or Graham.
And that is Graham being fouled by Michael Young.
That should be a 2-shot call.
That's what they're calling. Booker Turner agrees that'll be an intentional foul.
Young is a very experienced player, and if he'd have gone after the ball, Gary, he would have been able to have a 1-and-1 situation.
Georgetown trying to win their 11th game in a row. Their 21st win in their last 22 as Graham goes to the line.
Georgetown, a member of the Big East. The Big East Conference has not had a national championship. And, matter of fact, the Southwestern Conference has not had a national champ either.
Graham with 14 points. He has another one coming.
There's the difference between the 1 and 1 and the 2. He's still on that line.
2 minutes, 37 seconds left to go. He missed both of them. That leaves the door open.
It's up to Franklin to get that ball down quickly. Georgetown changing their defense a little bit, trying to put Wingate out on Franklin to occupy him. They're back in his zone.
Hakeem, and we're going to have a hell ball, and it will go to Georgetown.
Williams. Patrick Ewing was coming right on over to try to block it if Williams hadn't been able to get a hold of it. Hakeem spins. Good play by Williams. He had all ball, and there was Patrick Ewing coming over for the block.
Wonder how many times Reggie Williams has tied up a 7-foot center like that. Substitutions now have come into the ball game. Bill Martin is in. Foul on Dickens.
Now this is going to be the tail of the tape right now, but Georgetown's going to have to go the line the rest of the game. And one of the areas, Gary, that I think the Rules Committee is going to take a serious look is in college basketball to change the rules, stating that a coach will have an opportunity to take the ball out of bounds as opposed to shooting the fouls, to eliminate all of the fouling at the end of a ball game.
Houston would love to have that option. Now, Guy Lewis asks for a timeout. He has one left. 2:16 to go. Georgetown, who 2 years ago lost the championship game, leading this one now by 6. Georgetown 74, Houston 68. Georgetown close to their 34th win of the year against only 3 losses. At the free throw line will be the Hoyas when we come back. And it looks as though Fred Brown has come back in and has for Georgetown.
Benny Anders stays out there in the lineup with Dickens and Franklin. Mentioned the Southwest Conference hadn't had a national champion in basketball, but kind of interesting. Houston has had 14 national championships in golf. Yesterday, Freddie Couples, Houston grad,
won the TPC. Olajuwon in this second half, Billy's played over 10 minutes, 10:06 with 4 fouls.
He's played on the court, but he really, with the exception of that one great sequence defensively, hasn't been the Hakeem Olajuwon that's the ultimate defender. He has not had an opportunity to really go after the ball, and I wouldn't blame him.
You see Georgetown in the background now has dropped back both Ewing and Graham. 76-68.
John Thompson doing a wise thing here, just giving enough phony pressure to make it hard for Houston to get the ball down the court quickly. Then he drops back in the 2-3 zone.
Dickens, who hit one there earlier, and nails another one. That's it to 6 with 2 minutes to go.
Still a lot of time. A foul right there to be wise on Brown. Foul.
Brown is only a 64% free throw shooter.
Very smart move by Dickens.
Third foul on Dickens.
What you have to remember also, if Freddie Brown's got to have lurking in the back of his mind, way back there somewhere in the subconscious, the play against North Carolina. So he's a good guy to put on that line.
He would like to win this championship. You know, he said that John Thompson helped him so much to overcome the adversity of the past that he threw to Worthy and lost the game 2 years ago.
It was interesting the way John throws you off balance. Freddie hits it. John throws you off balance. After everybody started having compassion for Freddie Brown, a couple of weeks later he said, we're not going to try to make any hero out of you. You made a bonehead play.
Brown gets both of them to go down. He has 4 points for the game. Back to an 8-point lead with a minute 56.
That's a redeemer for Fred. Dickens goes for move. He got fouled.
They're going to call the foul on Wingate. His 4th.
Dickens showing what an outstanding athlete he is. He'd be playing lead guard for an awful lot of teams in college basketball.
Well, Dickens, a junior, out of Houston, as so many of these players are. He went to Madison High School. Free throw shooting 60% for the year. He came in very briefly, played a half a minute Saturday against Virginia. 3 players now for Georgetown with 4 fouls. Wingate, Brown, and Graham.
Houston just won't quit. Georgetown doing an excellent job, not only with their substitutions, but everybody has a good handle on what they're trying to accomplish.
They just keep bringing in waves of players. Brown coming out of there. Martin is in the game. Reggie Williams is in there.
And you're not looking at any seniors there either, Gary.
Ewing with a rebound. 7-point lead, 1:46. 8 rebounds for Ewing. That's going to be a charge on Jackson.
There was a little sliding underneath. John Thompson can't believe that one. I'd have to agree with him.
That's another player for Georgetown with 4 fouls. Jackson with his 4th.
This score was a little closer. You'd have seen Coach Thompson a little upset. Now watch this.
Replacing Bill Martin and Reggie Williams.
He slid right underneath Jackson.
Houston can't take a lot of time with 1:36. Dickens inside. Boy, he's quick, isn't he? And that one was thrown away. 13 turnovers.
Dickens did what you have to do. Penetrate on inside. Hope you can get off something. You can't take time to get the perfect shot.
Again, they bring Williams and Martin in. John Thompson filtering people back and forth.
He wants his foul shooters on the floor right now.
Jackson ducked his head and brought it across the line. That's Dickens batting it out of bounds. Up to 23.
How well Jackson sits down when he dribbles. We mentioned that on Saturday. Tough to take the ball away from him.
It's been a complete game by this Georgetown team.
They're back in their little 4 corners type offense now that Houston is a straight man-to-man.
Effective on the boards. Foul as Wingate goes in. They have been able to shoot a good percentage. They've used their depth very well. They have 4 players with 4 fouls. That's really stringing those fouls out.
Never becomes a real problem when you have good depth. And there's Guy Lewis sitting over there. Been here 3 times in a row to the Final Four. And
he might be back a 4th year.
And could come back to 4th year, but it looks like 3 in a row. He's not going to have an opportunity to go home with that brass ring.
Houston got off to a remarkable start. They had an 8-point lead, hitting their first 7 shots.
That'll be 2. Franklin had a chance to foul Patrick Ewing. Instead goes over and commits a 2-shot foul.
That's twice that's happened. Earlier, Michael Young did the same thing.
Georgetown, number 50, Michael Graham. Number 20, Fred Brown.
So at 1:05, the conference with John Thompson. John, 2 years ago, just short in beating North Carolina, but now very close to winning that coveted title.
I'd say he's closer than very close. I had a great talk this morning with Coach John Wooden. Been here so many times in the national championship, won 10 national crowns. Think about his record in the Final Four. And then a follower like John Thompson with such a great record wins his first one or has a chance. John Wooden was 21-3 in the Final Four in his career.
8-point lead, less than a minute to go. Anders, he's fouled by Ewing. That's 4 on Patrick. 5 players now for Georgetown with 4 fouls. And Billy, if there were 3 or 4 minutes in this game, they have to use all that depth.
Well, Patrick Ewing, I'm really surprised he went out there that far to get Benny Anders. There's no need to try to worry about blocking a shot now. He needs to be in under there and rebound. You don't want to stop the clock.
What they're doing is they're moving Brown and Graham, exchanging them for Williams and Martin, depending on whether they have the ball or playing the defense.
He's got his defenders, and he's bringing in his best foul shooters. The fellow that first started doing that I saw, and doing it effectively, was Terry Holland. Going back about 5-6 years ago.
2 free throws for Benny Anders.
That's long. You'd rather see a fella put one up long than short. He's still pumped up.
A couple opportunities that got away, and a foul against Houston.
Dickens reaching in, and now it's just a walk down the court.
Guy Lewis said we tried to improve our free throw shooting. We even brought Calvin Murphy in, the great player in the pros, and he said after he worked with us, we're even worse yet. So it's been something that has deserted them all year long, and there were 2 more big misses.
When you have great athletes and they want to work on it and concentrate, they could improve their free throw shooting. It's not that they have such bad technique, but you watch them in practice, sometimes they just not concentrate.
Priorities.
Also on the line.
Houston sensing defeat.
like Steve Alford from Indiana, but Jackson's a pretty good man to have on that line. And John Thompson telling all of his fellas, no fouls.
Very calmly, Jackson adds 2 more. It's a 10-point lead with 52 seconds. Michael Young, haven't heard much from him for a while. That's a tough shot.
That
He got that one up in the rafters.
Over Patrick Ewing.
Young with 18 points, the reach around foul. John Thompson will be the winning coach, it appears, with 39 seconds, and we'll have a post-game interview. Guy Lewis as well.
John from D.C., played for Joe Mulaney at Providence, then for Red Auerbach, a man that he counts on a great deal with the Boston Celtics, assistant coach to Dean Smith in the '76 Olympics. He is a guy that learns from a lot of people and has put together quite a program.
You see who was here tonight? Bill Russell, who he played behind in the Boston Celtics, a good friend of John who lives in the Seattle area. Got to be happy. John Thompson, the winner, and Bill Russell's daughter goes to Georgetown. 82-73. 14 points for Wingate.
Now, John's doing something I've never seen him do before. He's standing up, and he's very, very nervous. He's telling guys what to do. He normally is not like this. Don't tell me he isn't losing his cool a little bit with his championship coming.
10-point lead.
He normally tries to play very cool, but he's going crazy now.
Follows his own shot. Look out. Rebound by Young. Patrick is there with a little impressive move on his part. 18 seconds.
As Graham wanted to lob, and Wingate didn't dare throw it over there. John Thompson just walked down and shook hands with Dave Gavitt, the commissioner of the Big East. John Thompson is now, in his own way, lighting that Red Auerbach cigar.
The first national championship for Georgetown. Weaver now comes into the ball game, and Houston is going to come up short again. But for 3 years they've been in the Final Four. Somebody said earlier this week, Billy, only one team is going to come out of this happy the whole year. And look at the guy that's happy. It's John Thompson.
And the man that he's hugging, Freddie Brown. Remember what 2 years difference makes.
The pass is long forgotten right now by Fred Brown.
You know what's interesting with that picture? He was hugging him when he made the big mistake, too.
Yep. John Thompson is an outstanding man. He emphasizes life after basketball, and here comes Ewing out. Dalton is in.
Patrick Ewing goes down, and Gene Smith, the last man he slaps hands with. There's the smile everybody's been asking for.
Ewing with 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 block shots, and a very unselfish game.
It's the only way he knows how to play. There's on the other end, as we see every year in this tournament, a lot of heartache. Hakeem Olajuwon still hasn't tasted that victory.
Reed Geddes, 3 times he's been at the Final Four, twice in the championship game.
I can't get over John still coaching here. He's not looking for attention. It's just nervous energy flowing for him.
Georgetown will finish the year 34-3, winning 11 straight down the stretch. First team ever to come out of the Big East as both regular season champions and conference, or should say tournament champions. A lot of new people in now. Gary Orsak, number 31. Little lean in. Georgetown.
That's the ball game.
The national champions.